One of the joys with meditation is that experience where you're on the mat, the mind starts to quieten, the usual day-to-day surface level thoughts subside, and then all of a sudden insight arises, creative ideas start fizzing in and out of consciousness. You might get insights and epiphanies, and it all feels incredibly exciting. In this video, I want to point out and bring awareness to a potential pitfall with this experience. So the basis of a meditation practice is to remain in a state of non-judgmental awareness to different thoughts, feelings and sensations. So when we become attached, we're kind of creating the habit of getting attached to our thoughts, believing them to be true, chasing after them or running away from them, and this keeps that cycle of attachment going. I've really struggled with letting go when I get a creative insight. And I was in a session with my meditation teacher, and we were talking about a technique that I'm working on, and I'd asked him in that session, well, what happens? I get a lot of creative ideas. Like when I'm meditating, the usual noise starts to quieten, and that's when my best ideas surface. What do I do with that? And he kind of smiled and just said, what you would do with any other thought. You just remain in a state of non-attachment. And I'm there like, god damn it, that's not the answer that I wanted. I want him to be, to say that as soon as that happens, you're essentially channeling some creative divine energy, and as a result you've got to track down what comes up as soon as possible. Well, when we meditate, we're there to meditate. We're not there to ideate or come up with ideas, even though you will find that a lot of the time when you enhance your practice, when you build a bit of stability, you will notice certain insights and creative ideas and inspiration that surface. There is a catch, and I've experienced this very recently, and that's what I want to share with you today. I didn't listen to the advice, and I found that in my meditation practice, something that was really affecting my ability to remain in a kind of non-attached, aware mindset was getting really caught up with ideas. So I'd end up meditating and start thinking like, I can write that article, or that idea links to that, or that'll be a good headline, or what about this for a video idea, what about this, what about that, spiral. And then there's a snowball effect of ideas essentially running through my consciousness. This is just another blind spot of the ways in which we become attached to thought. It seemed harmless, in fact it actually seemed productive of me to do that. But meditation is for meditation. And I was forgetting that, and I was kind of mistaking meditation as a tool to become more creative, which it is, but meditation is for meditation. The reason I'm making this video today is because I found, by an absolute coincidence, mere coincidence, that I was starting to become really agitated and really overwhelmed by the amount of creative thoughts that I was having in my day-to-day. These thoughts had started to become invasive. They're kind of ever-present, which is something that I'm extremely grateful for. But like all thoughts, when they become intrusive or consistent or insistent, that's when it starts to have the opposite effect. Then I'm feeling high alert. I was struggling to sleep. I was always feeling like I needed to capture ideas or they'd run away. It was only when I recommitted to my meditation practice that I made the link between my lack of or my experience of indulgent in meditation with these ideas, and the way that they kind of developed their own life form and started to get a hold of me. One of the biggest reasons we meditate is so that the mind does not control us. The monkey mind doesn't take control. We're not a servant of the mind, but we're able to witness it and take conscious control. And this is awakening in a nutshell, right? But what I'd done through following and indulging and just going down the rabbit hole with these ideas in meditation, I'd reinforced that I was actually the servant of these ideas. And then in my waking life, I started to notice that again that was happening. I was not in control of these ideas. They were there and they had control over me. When I then started to get back into the practice of stepping back, when those ideas surfaced, then the amount of overwhelm in waking life also reduced. Because meditation is always a microcosm of the macro. And the way that we respond in meditation is the way that we respond in waking life. It's just the classroom. It allows us to teach ourselves different ways of responding that we then apply to life outside the classroom. I do wish to note that actively choosing to step back from the epiphanies, from the insights, from the ideas, is in a way an act of faith and an act of surrender. Because in that moment you're saying, I actually have faith that things will work out as they should, and I don't have to chase after this one idea or this one insight. If it's there to be manifested in this world, if it's there to be integrated within me, it will happen. Now is not the time for me to chase that. Of course, with the creative process, there are times where you might have like a light bulb moment and you rush to jot something down. But meditation is for meditation. And with the practice of non-judgmental awareness, we have to let go of the indulgence in creative thoughts. So I'd like for you to apply this to yourself and to let me know how it goes, to let me know if you're feeling overwhelmed with ideas, if you actually work on that in meditation, if you then notice that your relationship has changed. Not only for me have I become less overwhelmed, but the clarity and the speed of these ideas is a little bit slower. So I can kind of objectively, see them like, oh, there's a surfacing of an idea. Okay, that might link to this, it might link to that. It's a lot calmer, whereas at one point it was like the hustle and bustle of ideas was incredibly overwhelming, and that led me to struggle to discern. I'd be keen to hear how your relationship changes if you apply this practice. And you can also, even if you're not doing it in meditation, if you start to get overwhelmed by ideas, just to acknowledge that not all ideas are there to be manifested, to have faith that those that are meant to be manifested will be, and just to enjoy the experience. Is intrinsically a cool experience to get these kind of, these insights and these dots that join up and ideas for what you would like to create. So enjoying that within itself is something that enhances the quality of life and enjoyment of being anyway. Do subscribe if you like this video. You can get a copy of my book, Mindsets for Mindfulness. There's a link below. And do let me know how this goes. And if you like this video, do hit the like button as well.